no sense taking them on the bus with us, right? I think you guys have reminded me of that a couple times over the last 22 years. So figured we'd take Floyd with us and leave the timeouts here.
Take Floyd and leave the timeouts. As you just heard, that's what Kirk Ferentz said post-game the last time the Iowa Hawkeyes traveled to play the Minnesota Gophers. And I think it's easy to say there is no love lost between these two teams. Hello everyone and welcome back to your number one source for Hawkeye sports. I'm your host Michael Merrick, and today we're going to tell you everything you need to know before the kickoff. This week, the Iowa Hawkeyes take on a heated rival, the Minnesota Gophers. And Coach Ferentz is currently 5-0 against current Gopher head coach PJ Fleck. But this year, there's much more faith in Minneapolis than in years past.
Well, the fans, under PJ Fleck era, I've never seen fans more confident. You know, the Iowa week is always the toughest week of our schedule. So we're always prepared, but people are very, unlike other years, they're kind of happy-go-lucky.
Our players know how important this game is. Iowa's players know how important this game is. I mean, that's a rivalry. That's what it's all about. I mean, you don't have to tell them at all about what this means to our program, what this means to our state. And this is why you come to the University of Minnesota, playing games like this.
And Minnesota has the right to feel confident when they have a running back as talented as Mohamed Ibrahim. Currently, Ibrahim leads the entire nation in rushing touchdowns and ranks 5th in the nation in rushing yards. Plus, he has ran for over 100 yards in 18 straight appearances, dating all the way back to 2019 season. It's clear that the key to slowing down the Gophers is in stopping their all-time back.
We've got people who, have set all types of records, like Mohamed Ibrahim here, who could go down as the greatest running back, arguably ever. One in, Minnesota, and then arguably one of the best ever in the Big Ten.
I think he's a very, very good patient runner, and he has the ability to put his foot in the ground and go vertical as good as anybody that we faced.
He's been our entire offense this year. He's kind of like Adrian Peterson on those Vikings teams where he just carried the team on his back offensively.
You have to defend him every play, and you got to defend him till the whistle blows. He's just tough, hard-nosed. He's a really veteran player. Got a lot of respect for him. The guy's a winner.
But as we know, this Iowa defense is no stranger to facing star halfbacks. So far, Iowa has played 3 of the top 4 backs in the Big Ten, with Ibrahim being the lone man they have yet to play. Not only that, but running backs Chase Brown and Blake Corum both rank within the top 4 in the nation in rushing yards. Despite this, the Hawkeyes hold their opponents to just 3.8 yards per play. Not only is this the lowest in the NCAA this season, these are the lowest yards per play numbers for any defense since the 2011 Alabama Crimson Tide. And when adjusting for strength of schedule, Iowa clocks in at the #1 defense in the nation, and a huge reason for that is sophomore playmaker Cooper DeJean. DeJean has proven to be a massive difference maker for the Hawkeyes, not only from his incredible production in the secondary, but also his insane play on special teams as well. Last week, Cooper DeJean would nearly outgame the entire Iowa offense with his 32-yard pick six and his 82 punt return yards. DeJean has quickly shown to be one of the best players on this loaded Hawkeye defense.
I think he has the ability to play all 5 positions.
Well, I mean, what doesn't Coop do well? You saw him on the punt return, athlete, corner, athlete, cash, athlete. Hey, I'm going to gas you up a little bit, Coop. When you have someone who's just talented and a student of the game and is always wanting to learn, and the ceiling for him is the sky, wherever he wants to take it. And I can't wait to, just see where his game progresses even when I leave here.
Now, let's bring in Daily Iowan sports editor Chloe Peterson. Chloe, it feels like Tanner Morgan has been the Gopher quarterback for my entire lifetime. But with his injury concerns, it's likely we see backup Ethan Kalikimanis. What have you seen from this newcomer, and what makes him different from what we're used to seeing in Tanner Morgan?
Well, Kalikimanis is a lot younger than Tanner Morgan, which isn't very hard to do right now. He also has a stronger arm, and he is a lot more mobile. He can scramble out of the pocket, but that also makes him a little bit more turnover prone, so we might be seeing a little more turnovers if Kalikimanis is under center on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd really be shocked if he made it the entire game without 1 turnover, but we're going to have to look out to see if he can really elevate this Gopher offense. But moving over to the Hawkeye offense, Chloe, we've seen some solid Iowa performances these past few weeks. Who do you expect to see shine against this tough Gopher secondary?
You know, I'd actually say that Spencer Petras has a chance to shine against Minnesota this weekend because Minnesota has a really tough run defense, and it's going to be difficult to get Caleb Johnson going on Saturday. So I think this is a chance for Spencer Petras to really solidify his turnaround in this 3-game win streak and maybe turn it into a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, you know, Spencer Petras was definitely one of the most hated athletes in Iowa City early in the season, but when you win a lot of games, it's hard to hate. But Chloe, now's the time. Iowa just needs to win both of these final 2 games and have the Illini lose just once. And with them traveling to Ann Arbor this weekend, that's a very likely outcome. Who do you have in the battle for Floyd of Rosedale, and how do you see this game playing out?
You know, I have Iowa. I know Minnesota's favored by, I think, 3 points, but I think Iowa's going to win it at least 21-10 on Saturday in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I'm not too far off from you there. I think Iowa's defense and their loaded secondary specifically going up against that weak Gopher wide receiver group is just going to be too much for Minnesota to overcome. I have the Hawks bringing Floyd back home to Iowa City with a final score of 31-7. I got the Hawks big, but this game won't feel as big of a blowout as my score does suggest. So thank you, Chloe, and thank you for tuning into another edition of Before the Kickoff. Be sure to check out the Daily Iowan YouTube page and website for all the latest on everything Hawkeye sports. From the University of Iowa, I'm Michael Merrick. Have a wonderful weekend of football, everyone.